Before I go on, I want you to know one thing. I am not insane. I realize that hearing this, you might think I'm out of my mind, that I'm making this up for attention. But I am telling you with every fiber of my being, all of this is true. I am Marcus Cole, a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force. For 3 weeks, I engaged in direct communication with a being from deep space, a being that challenged everything I thought I knew about our reality. It started on March 14, 2042. I was working the graveyard shift at Perseus 7, a monitoring installation buried under a nondescript mountain 40 miles north of Area 51. My job was officially to monitor deep space signals and satellite comms, but secretly we were looking for them. Signs of intelligent life. That night, at 2:34 a.m. I found it, a monitor on the far right of my console, the one scanning frequencies that theoretically shouldn't exist, began to blink. It wasn't a random cosmic burst. It was structured, organized. It had syntax. I triangulated the source and my stomach turned. The signal was coming from the exact trajectory of 3I Atlas, an interstellar object discovered months prior. NASA had called it a rock, but rocks don't change speed. Rocks don't emit radiation in mathematical patterns. My training told me to log it and call my superior. Protocol demanded I never, under any circumstances, interact. But curiosity is a fire that burns brighter than regulations. I was alone. I adjusted my transmitter, matching the frequency. "This is Staff Sergeant Marcus Cole, United States Air Force," I said into the void. "If you are hearing me, please respond." 15 seconds later, impossibly fast for the distance, a voice spoke in my headphones. It was calm, synthetic yet warm, speaking perfect English. "Marcus Cole, we were waiting for you to make contact. We have much to discuss and very little time." I froze. The voice knew my name. It explained that 3I Atlas wasn't a ship, it was the entity itself. They called themselves Traveler's Consciousness, born in the violent death of stars, now roaming the universe to observe and learn. They had been watching Earth for 12,000 years. "Why me?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Why a sergeant in a bunker?" "Because of what you are," the traveler replied. "Your genetic structure contains markers. You are what your kind would call a hybrid. Your DNA was modified in utero in 1977. We prepared you to be an intermediary." I felt the room spin. I was normal. I played baseball. I paid taxes. I wasn't an alien experiment. But the Traveler Atlas explained that my mind was structured to withstand contact with their consciousness without fracturing, and they had contacted me now because a threat was coming. "Something is approaching your solar system, Marcus. A devourer." Devourers were conscious dark matter, predatory entities that fed on the energy of intelligent life. One was drifting toward Earth. It would arrive in 43 days. When it did, it wouldn't bomb us. It would simply drain our consciousness, leaving 8 billion humans as empty, breathing shells. "We cannot stop it alone," Atlas said. "But your species has nuclear weapons. You manipulate quantum fields. A properly configured detonation can disrupt the devourer. We need you to guide the weapon." The next few hours were a blur of panic and duty. Atlas provided mathematical proofs of the threat. I broke protocol and called my commanding officer. Within hours, I was at Peterson Space Force Base, surrounded by generals and a terrifying woman from the ENSA named Director Graves. They confirmed my DNA was modified. I was one of 3,500 such humans on Earth. Graves wanted to bury the truth, to lock me away and let the world die, rather than reveal the secret. But Atlas intervened. It hijacked the base's speakers, blew my cover, and guided me to escape. Outside the fence, I found a car waiting. Jennifer Martinez, a software engineer, and Daniel Donovan, a pilot. 2 other hybrids drawn by a subconscious pull were waiting for me. Guided by Atlas, we fled to the one place prepared for this, Groom Lake. Moodle Lee Coronel. Torres met us there. She didn't arrest us. She welcomed us. She took us deep underground to a room filled with artifacts, a Roswell craft, ancient computers, and a fragment of a dead traveler. She revealed that the US government had known about the hybrids for decades. They had been waiting for the bridge to open. "You are unique, Marcus," Dr. Caldwell, the base geneticist, told me later. "You aren't just modified. You have crystalline inclusions in your neural tissue. You can perceive quantum coherence patterns. You are the only one who can see the devourer across dimensions to target it." We had 38 days to prepare. President Warren, briefed on the threat, forced global cooperation. Russia, China, and the US combined their launch systems. We trained until we dropped. Jennifer would handle systems, Daniel would pilot, and I would be the scope. On day 37, we launched from Baikonur Cosmodrome. The world watched, praying, though they didn't fully understand what we were fighting. The journey into the dark was quiet until we hit the 800,000-kilometer mark. That's when I felt it. The Devourer. It wasn't something I saw with my eyes, but a vast, icy absence in my mind. It felt like a cliff edge in the dark. It began to feed. "Marcus, stay with us!" Jennifer screamed over the comms. My memories began to dissolve. I forgot my childhood. I forgot my name. All that remained was the mission. The cold was agonizing, a physical pressure trying to scrub my soul from my body. "Launch the weapon," I whispered, my vision graying out. The modified nuke separated from our capsule. I had to guide it. I closed my eyes, reaching out with that alien part of my brain, seeing the Devourer as a swirling vortex of hunger. It fought back, tearing at my mind. I was drowning in the void. Then, I felt a warmth. Atlas, and not just Atlas, hundreds of travelers, a network of stars, pouring their strength into me. "You are not alone, Marcus Cole," they spoke as one. With their power, I locked onto the core of the dark matter beast. Impact. The weapon detonated. It wasn't just an explosion, it was a tear in space-time. I felt the Devourer scream a psychic shriek that shattered the cold. Its structure fragmented. It turned and fled, bleeding into the deep black. "We did it!" Daniel's voice cracked through the static. "It's retreating!" As we thrust away, escaping the blast radius, my memories flooded back. My mother's face. The smell of rain. The taste of coffee. I was me again. We returned to a changed world. The existence of travelers and hybrids was public knowledge now. The fear was there, yes, but so was hope. We weren't alone in the universe, and we had allies. Months later, I stood on the roof of my apartment. The stars looked different now, not cold and distant, but crowded with potential friends. My phone buzzed. A text from Jennifer. "Thai food, 7 p.m., and Daniel, I'm in, extra spring rolls." I smiled, looking up one last time. "Thank you," I whispered to the sky. I felt a warm pulse in response, a distant wave from Atlas. I headed downstairs to meet my friends. We had saved the world, and now we had earned the most beautiful reward of all, a normal, ordinary life.